allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sorry guys, I'm always a little bit tardy, but I didn't expect to train. Okay. So roll call, please.
Frank Myers. Jamie Bowman.
Here.
Leanne Waldvogel.
Here.
Donna Roush.
Here.
Martha Patterson.
Here.
We have a forum.
Okay. First thing that we need to do is approval of the agenda for this evening.
I move that we approve the agenda for this evening.
Second. All say aye.
Aye.
Okay, next then would be approval of the minutes from the November 21st meeting, 2016.
Make a motion to accept. That's my turn.
All say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next would be introduction of evidence.
I would like to introduce the municipal code for the City of St. Genevieve, the design guidelines for the St. Genevieve National Register Historic District, and the staff report.
Anyone make a motion?
I move to accept the evidence as into the record. Second.
All say aye. Aye. Okay, old business.
No.
None? Okay, so then this evening, our first item would be a certificate of appropriateness to install a safety bollard in the sidewalk at 305 Merchant Street. And who's here to discuss that this evening? Hi. Come to the podium, please. Hi.
Hello.
So are you going to tell us about what you have?
Yeah, what we have there in front of you guys is we had Jim Dunsey put together a project for us. We've had lots of concern with especially the front windows of the DeBerg Center. Safety issues with the children playing right inside of the windows in our early childhood development center. What the concern there is that there's some parking spots right across the street, and you know, from time to time folks put cars in the wrong gear, hit the gas, and could come right through the window essentially. So with that being said, we've come up with a couple ideas there. Just one really. Put some bollards in front of the building into the sidewalk. 6 bollards across the front of the early childhood, and then in the Valley Desert, between the desert and the DeBerg, there's some steps that we have some concern that someone could slide off of in a car on some slick pavement. So we want to put 11 bollards across the desert there to prevent from any accidents happening.
Okay.
So I think you've got the site plan.
Yeah, and you see how it like goes down a foot or so down into the sidewalk?
Yes.
And then is it a covering that goes on it?
Yes, I believe that it's more than a foot.
It is.
I don't remember. Sorry.
I want to say they're 7-foot bollards, and essentially half of it's going to be buried and half of it will be on top.
Yeah, I read the proposal here. It sounds pretty sturdy, and then there's the decorative covering that goes over.
Yep, and we gave a picture of the decorative covering.
It's the one that you got.
It is. Mm-hmm.
Are you going to have the chains between, or just the bollards?
You know, we talked about the chains, but
Somebody will fall.
a couple concerns that we had there is that a lot of the parents drive up in the morning and drop their kids off there, and if there's a chain going across, it kind of impedes the kids getting it to the sidewalk. So we did not go with the chain.
Yeah, I saw the one illustration.
Jungle gym also.
Well, and that's true.
Someone will try to step across and go splat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so is anyone interested in making a motion?
I make a motion that we accept.
Okay.
I'll second.
I'll say aye.
That's good to do. Yes. Aye.
That was easy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It is when you get it ahead of time. It helps. Well, it's laid out nice and the material.
Thank you for all the
Explanation is very clear.
preparedness.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We tried our best.
Simple is good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so then number 2 for this evening is to receive a certificate of appropriateness to build a patio cover over an existing deck at the rear of 383 Jefferson Street. Hi.
Hey, hi, my name's Gary Shell. I'm the owner of the building, and pretty much what we would like to do is put a cover over the deck. We run a bed and breakfast, and we have lots of guests that sit back there, and we're just trying to provide cover for them. And then also, because it's a south-facing, it faces the south, and in the summertime we get a lot of sun in there, and so we're trying to reduce the amount of sun exposure to our wooden floors, which the sun kind of bleaches that out. And then also we would like to help, like when people come in, we have a little cottage in the back, and then when people come in from the cottage, they have to run into the house, and if it's raining, I'm trying to say, and then like one will be standing out in the rain, the other one's in there trying to wipe their feet off, and then this will give them an area to get out of the rain and not have to do that.
Well, thank you. Is there any discussion on this?
Is it gonna be an enclosed area like your
No, it's
illustration or just
It's going to be completely
Just a patio
open,
cover.
yes. Because it's like, that's just all we really want, is just a cover. We have plenty of rooms and stuff.
Well, I feel like with it on the back of the house, and I went by and it doesn't seem like you can see it
Yeah, I
at all.
don't think it would be visible from the street at all. And, yeah, it looks like you've
Okay.
got a pretty
So-
sturdy plan there.
Martha's made a motion to approve.
I second that motion.
Okay, I'll say aye.
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 Well, thank you very much, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Okay, so for the third item this evening is a certificate of appropriateness to replace the standing seam roof with wood shingles, cover the rear concrete gallery with brick on sides, wood on the deck, remove concrete front gallery floor and replace with wood, tuck point the foundation and install new wood doors on the cellar opening at 151 Zidler Street. Hi.
On the, with the shingle roof, with replacing with the shingle roof. Oh, sure, I'm sorry. My name's Adam Marty. My wife and I were the former owners of the home. We sold it about a month and a half ago, but the people who bought it have hired us to do the restoration work on it.
Oh.
And so we're here representing the owners. And they're...
It looked familiar.
Yeah, great people they are. Tom and Lisa Herbig, they'll be a great asset to the community. Really good people. They're from Webster Groves. But anyway, the standing seam roof is in pretty bad shape. When Kathy and I owned it, we went through and caulked up some of the holes and things to try to save that. The owners want to replace it with a wood shingle roof. One of the additions of the home was put on pre-1880. It has cut nails and things, but hidden up in the ceiling are some of these old shingles. This is a cypress shingle. It's sawn, and if you look, this is about how much exposure was on it. You can't buy cypress shingles today, but what they're wanting to do is they're wanting to install a wood shingle roof. It would be Western cedar, but it would match the same exposure and everything, the same type of shingle, a 16-inch sawn shingle. So that's what looking to replace that with. Now, if you go to the photograph of the rear of the home, which is this one right here. That rear gallery, that's a concrete slab over 2 feet thick. And it's impractical, if not impossible, to jackhammer that out of there. And what they did was they poured the concrete right up against the bottom of those logs. So all across the bottom, the sill plate is missing and all the logs are damaged. And so a new sill plate would need to be installed. But in order to do that, have to saw out some of the concrete. As far as doing the gallery sides and the porch and everything, hidden inside another portion of the home are these old brick piers. So this shows that the building did have original brick supports at one time on the house. This is now where the bathroom is, where it's a poured concrete foundation. So it would go to match that. So back to this photo, what we are proposing to do is to use old bricks like that and actually hide the brick, put the brick in front of this 2 foot thick concrete slab, so it would just look like an old brick porch support all the way across. And then on top of the concrete slab, take pressure treated 2x4s, lay them on their side, because they don't need to be really strong, they just need to support a wood deck. And then we would anchor pressure treated 2x4s is floor joists on top of the concrete slab, and then put Missouri red cedar 1x6s over that. So it would look like a wooden porch with a brick support, but this 2 foot thick concrete would be completely encased in there, and it would make the ugly concrete go away.
So pretty much do like a brick facing.
Correct. Yeah, and it would be, you know, similar to what's already existing on the home. Even though you can't see this now, this is.
No, it is an integral part.
But it is an integral part of the home. And then, if you remember correctly, this building, this porch, this gallery, was enclosed as a room at one time. And then the porch posts would be 5x5s, Missouri red cedar, that would match the ones on the front gallery, that would be chamfered the same way, so they would be an exact match of what's on the front of the home. So that's the proposal for the rear gallery.
May I ask you another question? I guess
Sure.
I just didn't understand. You said the logs are in that concrete?
The logs go down and the concrete's poured up against them, and they didn't put any vapor barrier, so I have to go in and when put the porch on, have to saw the concrete out about so far, chisel it out so I can slide a new sill plate in there while we're doing the porch. I'm sorry if I should have put that in the application. I'm sorry.
I just didn't catch that.
Oh.
So that would be part of the porch restoration, though.
Okay.
All right, and then if you.
Is there any way to, I'm not sure how, myself, to ensure some sort of, to protect the old logs, the upright logs? Or
Oh, they'll be fine. Yeah, they'll be protected. They'll be.
as long as they're not right up against the concrete.
Right, they won't be right up against the concrete. Yeah, that's the idea, is to remove the concrete away from the logs, and then slide the new sill plate, which would be white oak, which would be white oak's very rot resistant, and it would be bandsawn white oak that would be slid in there.
That would be
and
appropriate for the house.
Correct, and there would be a barrier and flashed and different things that will be hidden. You won't see any of that, but it'll keep any blowing moisture from getting in behind that concrete. So the idea is to get that gallery looking back to original in a way that we wouldn't have to try to somehow get 2 feet of solid concrete out of there.
Without dynamite.
Yeah, without dynamite, yeah.
How far down will you have to saw cut out on that porch?
To get to that sill plate, about 4 inches. So my saw will do just fine with that. I've got a big concrete cut-off saw, and I'll just cut slats in there and just chisel it out, and it'll, you won't see it, but it'll be a way to be able to get that sill plate replaced and repaired.
Okay.
Now, if you want to go to this photograph here with regards to the front gallery. Now, that's not a solid concrete, pad. You can look, there's an opening that you can go underneath. It's only about 6 inches thick. So that could be broken out and then replaced with a wooden structure, but using the original post. This first post is pretty rotten on the bottom, so it might have to be replaced, but it would be replaced with like material and be chamfered just like the other three if we have to go that route. I just have to get into it to see. The original porch piers, I've crawled under that hole and looked, and the original porch piers are under there. They are stone. So the stone piers will be exposed again. It'll be opened underneath with a wooden deck, and the floor joists of the porch, where seen, will be bandsawn white oak once again, but then under the heart of the porch where it won't be visible, we would go with pressure treated lumber and modern joist hangers, things like that, but you wouldn't see any of that. It'd be white oak. And then once again, the porch deck would be Missouri red cedar bandsawn 1x6s.
It's going to be a lot of cedar.
So it'd be a lot of cedar. It'd be very rot resistant, and it would be a material that was used historically around town. I believe the next item was what, tuck pointing, or was it the?
Yes, and then wood doors.
Okay, the tuck pointing, it's pretty straightforward. The foundation is it was bedded in lime mortar, lime putty mortar, and what we're proposing to do is just go and clean out the mortar joints and repoint with a type O lime mortar mix that would duplicate what was originally there. The foundation's in pretty good shape. There's a couple stones that have popped out, and that needs to be repaired. If you remember, there was that Italianette home that was torn down years ago. Donna, do you remember what street? It's on the same street, isn't it? That your place is on the side street there, but on the other side there's a vacant lot there now next to the
Foundation.
Yeah.
Next to the foundation home.
Yeah. I got all the foundation stones from that. I have them stockpiled at home for any restoration work around town. So any stones that need to be replaced will be using stone that came from another home that was torn down here in town a few years ago. And so it'll match exactly. So that's what we're proposing with the foundation. On the cellar opening, it just had a piece of roof tin thrown over the top of it with some rotten 2x4s, and just proposing to build a double entry cellar opening, once again out of Missouri red cedar, but these would be done out of 1.25 inch thick, 8-inch wide boards, all shiplapped with historically appropriate hardware. And so it would just be red, Missouri red cedar, double
I
doors.
was wondering what you had in mind for the hardwood.
What's that now?
I was wondering what you had in mind for the hardwood.
The hardware?
Hardware, yeah.
I've got a blacksmith that I work with, a guy by the name of Justin Cohey, and he would forge some strap hinges and just a little hand forged padlock hasp.
That would be good.
So it just be hand forged.
Yeah, that would be good.
Well, Adam, I think you've been very thorough and hit everything that we need to go over. So what do you ladies think? Love it?
Just love it. Move that we accept the proposal as stated and provided.
Okay, all say aye. Aye.
Thank you very much.
Sounds awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad.
I'm glad it's
Get it
getting
done.
done.
Yeah.
Kathy and I, we purchased the place because we wanted to save it, and business was just, I'm so swamped. And a little over a year ago, I had a stroke. So I'm so thankful that these people found us, and wonderful people, and they
Well,
will
and
be...
it's kind of near and dear to your heart since...
Yes, yes, and we've actually become friends, so it's, you know...
Are they going to live here or?
No, it's, they're using it, they're not sure yet, they own them, they live in Webster Groves, in a historic home in Webster Groves. So this is a second home for them, but they come down and they stay in the bed and breakfasts all the time, and they love the community. And how it worked out, it was funny. We had a sign hanging on the building, and they called us Tom called us one day and said, hey, we'd like to make an offer on the house. We accepted the offer, and they said, one thing though, can we close tomorrow? Tomorrow's our wedding anniversary, and I'm buying this as an anniversary present for my wife. So,
And it made you like him even more.
yes, so anyway, and then, like I said, they hired us to do the complete restoration, so looking forward to it.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, see you soon.
Okay, so then I guess we move on to the administrative approvals.
Okay, so the first one was the 28 by 56 carport slash garage that the city, as you've seen the poles erected out there. The police department is having they're needing a carport for the cars, and most of it will be open at the carport. One end will be closed off as a small garage on the other end for them to store smaller items. And then the other item was,
What's it going to be covered with?
it'll be metal. It'll be metal on the roof and on the sides. The metal on the sides will be to match the side of the building, and then the roof will be colored to match just like the city hall is. And then the other approval was 698 LaPorte Street. He had a vinyl double hung window in there anyways, and he wanted to replace it with a casement window. This was a non-historic home in the historic district, and so he's not changing the opening size, just changing from one vinyl window to another.
Vinyl to vinyl, so.
Yeah, so, and that is all that I have.
Any public comments?
No controversy. Right about, come on.
Okay, well then, I say we adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second that.
All say aye?
Aye.
Thank you.